They should carry no weapons. They should carry no weapons. Are unconfrontational. They should be unconfrontational. Should not seek to accost a suspect. And always coordinate activities with law enforcement. A citizen patrol can cover a neighborhood, an apartment lobby or complex, a business district, or a park. Some use bicycles, inline skates, or cars to cover large areas. They contact the police dispatcher through two-way radios or cellular phones donated by a local business. Cameras or video equipment may be used to record suspicious activity. Many patrols are based in a neighborhood watch program or work closely with one. Now, here are some other points that I want you to consider, and this is where more of his of Zimmerman's violations are clearly seen as I go through these bullet points taken here from SockSheriff.com. Okay? Make sure your citizen patrol, number one, undergoes training by law enforcement and have their support. 2, work in teams. 3, wears identifying clothing, t-shirts, caps, vests, jackets, or reflective clothing, or patches. Now, the fact that Trayvon Martin was on the phone with his girlfriend at the time he was accosted by Mr. Zimmerman, and as he was being followed by Mr. Zimmerman, and Trayvon was puzzled as to who this person is, this individual is that's following him, and reported to his girlfriend that he is scared, he feels threatened, tells me that Mr. Zimmerman had none of these things that would identify him as a neighborhood watch person. Okay, it says here that he must wear identifying clothing, t-shirts, caps, vests, jackets, or reflective clothing, or patches. Next, never carries weapons of any kind. A citizen's patrol should never carry weapons of any kind. Example, guns, blackjack, mace, baseball bat, or knives. He should carry no weapons of any kind. Yet this man had a 9mm pistol with which he murdered Trayvon Martin. Okay? Never challenges anyone. Never challenges anyone. Now, the recording shows that as Mr. Zimmerman began following Trayvon Martin because he was a suspect, he looked suspicious because he was black and was wearing a hoodie, he began following him. He called 911. And that's one of the things that he should do. Yes, shouldn't follow him. But he called 911, and the dispatch asked him, "Are you following the suspect?" And he said yes. Dispatch told him, "Do not follow him." Yet he continued to follow him and then accosted him, which he should not have done. Okay, Trayvon, in defending himself, trying to fend off an attacker, tried to defend himself, and so it is through him trying to defend himself that Zimmerman ended up with some bruises to his face, and as the report states, to the back of his head. If those reports are in fact true, we don't know. Okay, but the report states that he had a bloody face, and the back of his head was bloody. Well, if I'm being attacked by somebody I don't know, you're not a cop, I don't know who you are, you're a threat to me, then I'm going to defend myself at all cost, in as much as I possibly can. And so that's what this boy was doing. Okay, now, so he should never challenge anyone. You should always carry a pad and pencil and a flashlight if it is dark. Okay, now if he had a flashlight, he would have been able to tell that Trayvon had no weapon. All he had was a bag of Skittles and some Arizona iced tea. Okay, that's all he had. So if he had a flashlight, he would have been able to tell that. He didn't have a flashlight, or maybe it's obvious that he knew that what he had, but he just wanted to kill the boy because he is black. Okay, is courteous and helpful to residents of the area being patrolled, and keeps logs and files reports with the local law enforcement agency. All right, so these are the guidelines for a neighborhood watch, for a person participating in the neighborhood watch program. And obviously, Mr. Zimmerman violated all of these. Okay, he violated them all. If he was abiding by these constitutes, then we would not have this 17-year-old boy that is now laying in the grave, and his murderer still walks free. That's why there's outrage. Okay, not so much because he killed the boy. Yes, that we're outraged over that, but the real outrage comes because the Florida Police Department have basically shook his hand and say thank you and let him walk. Okay, it took 3 days for them to notify. The boy was in the morgue for 3 days, and the police never attempted to seek to find out who his parents are to notify them. Okay, that's the report that I saw on the news media. Okay, for 3 days they did not know where he was. Okay, the police never attempted to notify his family for 3 days. So when they came and they saw this black kid laying on the ground dead, eyewitnesses said that their attitude was simply nonchalant. Okay, and so they had, for them it was over. The investigation was over even before it began. All right, now I want you to watch the next clip from Bill Cosby's show. And again, I only wished that Mr. Zimmerman had watched this episode. And also, let me point out, again, it goes back to, one of the reasons why we, the true people of Yasharal, the true, what they call Israelites, the true people of Yasharal, the reason why we continue to face these things that we face, the reason why we continue to be oppressed, is because as a people we continue to reject and neglect the laws of Yah. Okay, we continue to follow after idols. All right, we have been lied to, and so we follow after idols. We're worshiping the Easter bunny. We are worshiping this Jesus. Okay, this pagan idol instead of the Hebrew Yahusha. We continue to follow after idols. We continue to trample the Torah of Yah, the commandments of Yah. We continue to go lawlessly, whoring after other deities. And so Yah says that for as long as we continue to do that, we will find ourselves oppressed. We will be the tail and not the head, as we should be. And so that's the real issue here. People of Yah, it is time for you to wake up. It is time for you to repent. Black people are in fact the real Hebrews, not those people in the land of Israel right now that claim to be Israelites. Jews are not Hebrews, and Hebrews are not Jews. It is important for you to get that. Well, it is my prayer that you have been blessed by this video, and hopefully you will take heed, ponder the things that I've spoken, and take heed to it, and look inwardly. Okay, turn to Yah, turn to His Torah, and turn away from those false idols that we have been lied to into accepting and hear the truth. Shalom.
But I don't think that's what he had in mind. As usual, Rudy's a little mixed up. He should know that the police are trying to protect us. That Officer Gomez seems to be a pretty good guy to me. So let's check out the neighborhood watch meeting over at Dumb Donald's place.
Nice to see such a bright turnout here. We think the gang who hit this house has broken into others in your neighborhood. You people may be able to help us catch them.
What would they like us to do?
You probably know most of your neighbors. If you don't, get to know them, their cars, when they go on vacations. Watch for anything suspicious. Strangers in the neighborhood, people loading trucks.
What if we see someone carrying something from an empty house? Should we try to stop them?
No. Call the police. Don't ever try to stop a criminal yourself. That's dangerous. It's our job. This all goes for you fellows, too. You boys can be part of the neighborhood watch. If you see anything strange, tell your parents.
The only strange thing I ever see is Rudy, and my parents never want to hear about him again.
This neighborhood watch says we can still catch the second movie.
Okay, Rudy. I think that